Hello you guys, it's Amber from Whisper Mystic Tarot with another deck walkthrough for you, and today we're going to be talking about the Urban Tarot by Robin Scott. I cannot tell you how excited I am to have this deck. Anyone who knows me knows I've been talking about this deck forever. Okay, I've wanted this deck for probably like 2 years now. And when I finally figured out what the deck was, because I'd seen other readers use it, I was able to hunt it down. The Kickstarter project was already over at this point. And I was like, okay, as soon as I get paid, I'm going to get it. And then life happened. And then when I finally had money to get the dang deck, it was sold out. It was sold out. And so then I had to wait and then put on a mailing list. And finally, US Game Systems, I believe, picked it up and bought it. There was, from what I've noticed so far, one small change to one of the cards. There could be more that I just didn't notice from seeing people read with it. I will show you when we get to it, and I'll explain the difference. But I am so happy to have this deck. I freaking love it. It's so inclusive. It's just beautiful art, beautifully done. Let me put this on the side first, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. The book is pretty nice. It doesn't have pictures, but there is a lot of information in there. Robin Scott does tell you who all the models are for all of the cards, which is really cool. So a lot of these are people who were backers and so forth. And this is actually a picture of her wedding to her wife, so I'll point that out to you when we get to it. And so forth. Robin Scott is a transgendered person. The universe, Amy Scott, is Robin Scott's wife, so I thought that was really pretty. That was done after her. The cards are really cool. Again, it tells you about who the models are. It tells you a lot about what the focus was about the card, how it relates into her life, and so forth. Because the whole deck was kind of based around, you know, her world that she's in. And it's kind of like a mixed media art kind of thing. It's really cool, really cool. So first we have the full, and this is a portrait of Robin Scott. Some of the titles on them are a little different than what we're used to. They do have the names and the numbers. That is a pet peeve of mine. I'm not saying I won't use a deck that doesn't, but I do prefer it. Again, very cool mixed media. This does it no justice when you see all the, let's see if I can zoom in. All the textures and patterns that are in these cards. It's really something unique. Sorry, let me move my hand. I was wanting to zoom in on my hand. There we go. Focus on my hand. So I have read with this several times now. I really like it. It is a deck that's on the bigger side. So if you don't like bigger decks, you might not like this. I tend to have trouble. I have long fingers, but I don't have very big hands, so I tend to struggle shuffling these bigger decks, but I'm not going to turn away from using them. The Hermit as a homeless man. So I live in Chicago suburbs, and we have Brookfield Zoo in Chicago suburbs, and outside of the zoo there are these stone statues like this, and this card always reminds me of that, because you have to take a picture with the lion if you're going to go to the zoo. I really like the way she does the court cards too. I'll show you that when we get there, and you'll see why. Temperance. So Temperance is called art in this deck. You look the nod to the original Temperance card here as well as being painted on the back wall here, which I thought was really creative and fun. This is one of the cards that made me really want this deck, the Devil in this. So you see this is like a really kind of sleazy guy. Looks like he's probably going to try and give you drugs in a bathroom. We have the chains on the ground here. The devil horns around his head and chalk on the wall. Devil to me a lot of times is like temptation. I mean, this is like a very, you know this guy is bad for you. You know this is very tempting. But it's so hard to resist. Temptations and addictions, and I thought that that card was really representative of that. Sorry, I had to shift myself. Okay, so this is the card that I noticed a big difference with. This is the Tower card. In the original version that I had seen, the Tower card was depicted as the Twin Towers on fire. I don't know if the original version was released that way and then was changed when this was bought by US Games, which I guess I can see why they would want that changed. For me personally, like, that was a Tower moment. When I saw that, I was like, yep, that's a Tower card. Like, that is 100%, but I could see why that would be offensive and it would be taken out. This is still very much a Tower moment, but it is harder to see what is going on. If you look closely here, it looks as though that is the Statue of Liberty underwater, breaking to the ground. This tower is destructed, which I imagine would be very much a Tower moment as well. But yeah, that is the major change that I've noticed. Everything else seems pretty much the same. The Star. This card kind of creeps me out. There was this old horror game called Fatal Frame, and this version of the moon reminds me of it. And this is called the Aeon. I've seen this in other decks as Judgment being labeled as the Aeon. And instead of the world, it is the universe in this deck. And that is Robin Scott's wife, Amy there. Which is a really cool card. So now we get into the major, that's all of them. Wait, sorry, we get into the minor, that's all the majors there. Again, I'm showing you these, but you cannot really see how cool they are on camera as they are in person, because you can see just the different layers. The way they're done is just really, really neat. So, Ace of Pentacles. I like that it relates the cards into modern day life. It's really kind of neat. And even the minors have these keywords. Okay, so works. Four of Pentacles is power, definitely. I mean, and she says in the book, don't pigeonhole yourself by these. You know, you go by what the card reflects to you. But some of these are very interesting. This is failure. I never noticed that before. That is, if you look, a bunch of diamond rings. It's like a ring store, or diamond store. So we're getting to the first set of court cards. This is what I really like. One of the things I really like about this deck is it tells you the not the signs, but, oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. The earth, air, fire, water, you know, associated with this card. So that's kind of cool. But it also gives you like I don't want to say an occupation, but kind of like a personality type. So the Princess of Discs, or what will be the Page of Pentacles, would be like a kindergarten teacher. Something to relate to. You know what I mean? The Knight of Discs. Oops, sorry, hit the camera. The Gourmet Chef. Queen of Discs. The Matriarch. So there is no king in this, and this was confusing for me at first to figure them out. But the prince in this is the king, what would traditionally be the king. Prince of Discs is the day trader. Then we move on to wands. All right, Princess of Wands, the Dancer. Knight of Wands, the Rock Star. Queen of Wands, the Public Defender. And Prince of Wands, the Journalist. On to our swords. Princess of Swords, the Activist. Oh, that's my daughter snoring in the background if you're hearing that. A Knight of Swords is the Game Master. Queen of Swords, the Painter. And Prince of Swords, the Hacker. On to Cups. Okay, so this is one of my favorites, I think, the Two of Cups, and you can clearly tell that this couple is bonding in a Starbucks. It's so just a modern life. This next one is a little different. Six of Cups is pleasure. I believe that these are taken after the Thoth meetings and not the Rider-Waite, which is probably why that one's pleasure. So a little different there, but I kind of like it. Kind of like it. All right, Princess of Cups, the costume designer. Knight of Cups, the seducer. This is one that I absolutely love because it's totally how I think of the Knight of Cups. As someone who's gonna woo you, seduce you, drink you into doing what they want. Maybe not stick around. Queen of Cups, the therapist. Wouldn't that just be the perfect job for the Queen of Cups? And finally, our last card, the Prince of Cups, is the filmmaker. And it also comes with these two little info cards. Okay, that's the back. That's what the back of the cards look like. I'll show you that again in a second here. And this is more info and about the symbols that she uses in the deck. The back of the cards. Nice thick cards here. Urban Tarot. I love how it looks like a map. Yeah, nice thick. Not too glossy, but there's some gloss to them. Absolutely love these cards. In order to get them, I believe, gosh, where did I find them? I Googled them and went to Robin Scott's site, and she gives you a link there on where you can go buy them now. So if you're interested, and they're not too hard to find. They're not overly priced either. They were pretty reasonable, totally worth it. Absolutely love the cards. They read very well. There's a lot of rich symbolism in there that you can really dig into. And I think these are great for anybody, whether you're just learning now or you've been reading for a long time. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. Bye.